to another reading challenge video. I am sure that a lot of people who read, especially fantasy book lovers, have heard of this book and this series as a whole. Now, I have read a good chunk of this series and I love it. It is amazing. However, I had to put it on hold for final season last semester, and I wanted to put it on hold before I started the last 3 books because that's all I have left in this series, and those books are chunky. Those books are also when I start the tandem read, which is why in this video I am going to be finishing the last 3 books in the Throne of Glass series, and I'm going to be doing the tandem read for the first time. So this is my first time experiencing any of these books as well as the finale, and I'm so excited. If you've never heard of this series, it follows our main character, Selena, and she is taken from this prison camp. So she is a prisoner, except we slowly find out why, but she's taken by the Crown Prince because he wants her to compete in his father's royal trials, royal games, in order to find the king's champion. So the Crown Prince wants her to be the king's champion. Except we find out that there's something wrong in this kingdom. Something dark and bad magic is happening, and Selena might know why, but she's also trying to figure out what is going on, and we're slowly uncovering the secrets of this kingdom and what happened in the past. There's so much more that goes along with this series, but I don't want to spoil anything because the series is huge, so you find out so much more along the way, as well as the cast. The cast of characters in this series is ginormous, and you meet so many people, and it's honestly just, as of right now, this is the best fantasy series I have ever read. And I'm not even done with it. So that just goes to show how well these books are written and well thought out these books are. You grow to love the main character so much more. You grow to love characters you once hated so much more. You grow to hate characters you once loved so much. And it is just a fun series. This is one of those books, one of those series as a whole, where when you're reading, you're never looking at the page number. You're never just trying to get to the end. You are going from page 1 to page 100 before you even realize that hours have gone by. So because of all that, I'm sure you guys can tell just how excited I am to finally be able to finish this series. This morning I went through and I tabbed up Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn, which are the last 3rd and 2nd book towards the end. I don't know their exact numbers in the whole series, but they are the last 2 books before the finale, and a lot of people recommend reading them at the same time as a tandem read because when you get to this point, our cast pretty much, whoa, I almost dropped the books. Our cast pretty much splits into 2, literally on 2 different continents, I think. So there's this group A who's doing this adventure and group B who's doing this adventure, and I'm guessing that at the very end of both of these books and at the start of the finale, they all merge together and meet up with all of the skills and new characters they have brought with them to fight our final battle. At least that's what I think is going to happen. So I know that the tandem read is optional. You can totally get by with reading them in the actual order of publication, which is this book first and then this one, but I honestly really want to do the tandem read, so I'm just gonna go for it and try it out. In this book, we are following our main character Selena and her part of the cast. I don't want to give away characters because I don't really think majority of the characters in here aren't in the first book, and I don't want to spoil anything. And then in this one, we are following Kale. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But he is the captain of the guard and his casted character doing their quest over here. So for the tandem read, I start with this one, and I made it so that whenever I hit a tab, I know to switch over to this one, and then whenever I hit a tab in this one, I switch back to this, and I just keep going back and forth until I finish them both. So I'll finish this one first before I finish this one, but it'll kind of be, as you can tell, they're kind of matched up pretty similarly. So I'm never gonna jump super duper far ahead in this one and be really behind in this one for the most part. I don't know how long this is gonna be because I really do like these books and I am gonna want to talk about what's happening. So this is just a warning that there will be spoilers for the rest of the series in here because I am gonna want to give my full thoughts, and I literally cannot do that without spoiling because we're so far into the series already. But yeah, so come with me to finish the last 3 books in the Throne of Glass series. Let's do it. Okay, so I am on chapter 7 of Empire of Storms. I started with this one, then I did a switch. I read the first chapter of Tower of Dawn, and then I switched back to this one until I think chapter 8? Until chapter 9. And I'm just going to keep going back and forth between the two. But so far, I'm having lots of fun. I've missed this world. It's been a few months since I read Queen of Shadows. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. We're just getting started off, so nothing too crazy to report yet. I just really hope that Kale is able to walk again, because that sounds like such a terrible thing to deal with after going your whole life being a guard and being trained. And he's not the type of character to sit around while stuff happens, so I hope he's able to be healed. Other than that, everyone else is kind of splitting up again, which I didn't think was gonna happen. I thought everyone was gonna kind of stick together, but once again we are all split, and I'm just excited to see where it goes. Hello and good morning. I read a little bit of my tandem read yesterday during my lunch break again, and I feel like I haven't updated in a while, so I'll just share my thoughts. I'm like 250 pages into each book, I think. Like, not exactly, but around that, based on like the chapters I have to read for the tandem read. So I'm that far in, almost halfway done with both of the books. And at first, Empire of Storms was holding my attention more, but now I feel like Tower of Dawn is holding my attention more. Like, it immediately flipped. And I think it's just because Tower of Dawn started really slow, but now we're starting to get into the drama, and it's a lot more entertaining. I feel like I like it better because we're only really focusing on like 3 characters, while Empire of Storms we're focusing on way more. So there's a lot more happening in Empire of Storms, which makes it harder for me to like stay super invested in one story, because like one chapter we're following Rowan and Dorian, and then the other chapter it's Aelin and Aedion and Lysandra, and then the other chapter it's Manon, and then the other chapter it's Elide. I think that's how you say her name. But it's just so split up right now, especially because none of these characters are like, interacting at the moment. They're all separate. So it's harder for me to actually stay super involved in that one, because I feel like the story's broken up so much. I appreciate that I'm getting information about all these characters, but it's just not as enjoyable as Tower of Dawn is for me right now. I was really scared because we went a good chunk of chapters without seeing Manon, and it was right after she had just dueled with her grandmother and like was pretty much dead. Like, her stomach was ripped open and she was flying away to like escape. That was how it ended. And then I felt like I went forever without I got reassurance that like, oh, she's okay, like all is going to be okay right now. And then as for Nesrin and Kale, I'm kind of bummed that they aren't really gonna be a thing anymore, because I liked them together, but at the same time, I really like Irene, and I like how her and Kale, their relationship is both of them healing in their own separate ways. I thought that's really sweet. And my prediction is that Irene and Kale will end up together, and then Nesrin and Sartok will end up together, but Sartok is going to become the Great Emperor, and Nesrin's gonna be the Empress and move back to the southern continent, because there's so many indicators that that's actually where she wants to be, and that's the home that she really loves and resonates with. So I hope that's the case for both of these characters. Alright, that's it for my update right now. I'll let you guys know more as I keep reading, and hopefully some crazy action starts and I can tell you guys all about it. I have done some reading since I last updated. I'm about 400 pages into both of them, but right now I am focusing on Empire of Storms because I'm in the middle of like this giant chunk that I'm supposed to be reading right now. And at first I was a little bummed because I stopped right when the action of Tower of Dawn started getting good. So I ended this when Nesrin and Sartok, they got to the temples with the spider valve creatures, and I was a little upset that I had to go so long without reading this one because I was starting to get so invested. And I like how a lot of the characters from Assassin's Blade are finally coming together in like both of these books. So like I said, at first I was bummed, but now I am super invested in Empire of Storms because of the scenes that I just read. Pretty much I got past the battle scene where they're on Rolf's boat, his ship, and Lysandra is the sea dragon. So I read those scenes, and I finally read the beach scene with Aelin and Rowan, and I've honestly just started to get so much more invested in these characters again. I feel like it's been a really interesting experience doing the tandem read because it took me so long to get into both the books as a whole, and I feel like I kept flipping back and forth with whose story I was more interested in. There was never a time where I was interested in both at like the same level, and it kind of made me, I feel like, put me in a bit of a slump while reading these two, because whenever I'd have to go back to one, I was bummed because I was so invested in the other, or vice versa, and my preference of these two books kept flipping back and forth. But now I feel like I'm at a place where like if I were to go back to Tower of Dawn right now, I would be excited, but I am still excited to actually keep reading just Empire of Storms until this like part of the tandem read is up, and that's been really nice. Okay, as for my character updates, because a lot has gone down, starting with Tower of Dawn. Irene and Kel went on their date, which wasn't really a date, but it was pretty much a date, and I really hope the best for these characters. I hope Kale can get his ability to walk back, just because I feel like him and Irene have so much potential to be such advantages in this war, and they're both really cool characters. I've liked Kale since the beginning. He's gotten on my nerves sometimes, yes, but he has still been one of my top characters. And Nesrin has grown on me so much. Sartok is okay. He's yet to make his way up to my favorites. I like the way him and Nesrin have their duo and the way they work together, and I'm really excited to see where their story's going, because they're at the Aerie right now. I think it's the Aerie or the Avery. I don't remember, but you know what I mean. They're at the place with all the Rooks and Sartok's pretty much like clan, if you will. And that has been really fun because we're seeing an entire new map, we're seeing an entire new world with different different kingdoms of different lore right now. And I think it was for the best that Nezrin and Kale split, because their romance was always so to me, and I'm happy that they're kind of finding their way with different people. I've kind of already talked about the prediction of what I think for the two of them, but as for Empire of Storms, Aelin, she's always been fire. Rowan is the sweetest for her, and I like how he, now that him and Aelin have kind of made it official in the last few chapters, even like if they weren't, they definitely did now. I like how he is so willing to prove that he deserves her, and he's like so willing to prove that to the kingdom, so that's really sweet. Rolf is an asshole, but he's a pirate, so he's already got a soft spot for me. Aedion and Lysandra are adorable, and I really hope that one day they can have their happily ever after for each other. And I mean, Aedion pretty much proposed. He said he was gonna marry her, so I hope they make that come true. I think Dorian and Manon, they're a couple that I would have never seen coming. I remember when we were first being introduced to Manon, I don't remember which book it was, like order wise, but I remember reading about her and about like the witches, and I was like, what does this have to do with anything? Like, where is this going? And now it all makes so much sense, and she is one of my favorite characters for sure. I just think it's so funny that both her and Aelin, so like two of my favorite characters, like cannot stand each other. I just think that's hilarious. Lorcan and Alid, I think that's how you say their names. Weird pairing. I think their romance for me is kind of just, it's okay. I feel like it's mostly just because they're forced in proximity with each other. That's the only reason why there's anything like romantic happening between them. So I don't know where that's gonna go. I'm not really falling for it. I don't feel the chemistry there. Gavriel and Fenris are just there. I don't have many thoughts about them. I kind of feel bad for Gavriel because his son Aedion kind of just straight, like flat out told him off, and it's like kind of bummy, but at the same time it's like, well, you did kind of deserve that. I genuinely do not know where either of these two books are gonna go. Like, I'm hoping that by the end of like both of them, everyone's reunited, and then Kingdom of Ash is just all of them being badasses. But as for what else is gonna happen in these books, I have no idea. I have the two questions that I still have left unanswered right now. Is what happened to that girl in Assassin's Blade. I don't remember her name, but I feel like I think it was Ansel or something. It started with an A, but she was the girl from the Red Desert when Aelin was training with, well, Selena was training with the assassins, and that girl with the red hair who ran away. What happened to her? Because I don't, like, unless I'm missing something and it's not clicking, I don't know where she is right now, and I'm really curious if she's ever gonna make an appearance again. And then when Irene lied and told Hazar, whatever her name is, that one princess from the southern continent, when she told her that Aelin and all them were going to be in Skulls Bay because Kale thought that was the last place Aelin would be, like, is something gonna happen with that? Or I don't know. Those are my two questions, and I'm just gonna keep reading, and I will try and read more consistently now that I am more involved, and update more consistently. But that's a giant like mashup of all my thoughts that I've had since like the last time I updated. Okay, so I will go to work, and then I'm gonna read more tonight, and hopefully it's my spring break right now, so hopefully I am able to read more, period, and try and finish these two soon so I can finally get onto Kingdom of Ash and complete this series, because I started it last summer and it's almost been a year, and that is insane. I've loved every second of reading these books, but it's just crazy how long it's been dragged on. So we'll see how much more of a dent I can make today. Okay guys, I'm hopping on the Lorcan and Elite train. They're actually cute for each other. Okay, so I finished that long chunk of Empire Storms, and I looked at Tower of Dawn and I like compare the two, and I think I'm pretty much just switching, like quick flipping back and forth between both books till the end, and they're both at like the same spot page wise, so I just know shit is about to go down and it's gonna be crazy for the rest of the books. So wish me luck, and we'll see how emotionally damaged I am by the end of these books. Maeve is the Queen of Valg. What? I knew she was a bad person, but I feel betrayed. Genuinely shocked right now. I have like 50 pages left in each, and we're gonna get both of them done today. Okay guys, I finished my tandem raid, and there's not that much natural lighting left anymore because it's later in the day, so bear with me and my lamp and my messy room in the background. But I did want to talk to you guys and close out this vlog because I'm thinking I will just read Kingdom of Ash in a completely separate vlog just because of how long this one went on for. But I did want to talk about my thoughts for both of these books. I started off with Empire of Storms, and I finished Empire of Storms before Tower of Dawn, and I don't have an exact star rating yet, but I thought this one wasn't as good as Tower of Dawn until the ending, because the ending was better than Tower of Dawn's, just because of the way everything was written in the end, the way that everything was revealed to Manon and Aelin through the witch mirror, the way that the battle played out, the way that Aelin and Maeve faced off, and the way that Aelin stayed strong against Maeve's forces, and the ultimate ending of her being taken along with Maeve. This book confirmed that Aelin is genuinely the baddest, strongest, and best character, like best movie character, best book character, best character of both the both genders. She is just the best character I have ever seen in media, and she is just the coolest. Till the very last moment, she was not about to give her enemy the satisfaction of her weakness, even though she was in pain. She was not about to let anyone of her court go through pain. She was going to take it all for them, and she knew she was going to have to endure all of this, and she set them up for victory. Like, they didn't even know what was coming until it was there, and it was all because of Aelin. And she did it all quietly. She did it all without announcing how great she was. She just did it because she's their queen, and she acts like it, and that is what a queen is supposed to do. And Aelin is just the best character of all time. I'm sorry, but it's true. As for the ending of this one, I love the way it was wrapped up. It unfortunately was just not as eventful as the ending of Empire Storms, but for the duration of this book, I think I enjoyed it more than Empire Storms. However, the ending was still great. Love Kale and Irene. I think it's cute that both them and then Aelin and Rowan ended up getting married before the end of these books, so now they are both couples are husband-wife. I just think that's really cute. I am so excited for Irene and Aelin to meet, especially after Kale realized who wrote her that note, and he was like, wait, like, don't throw this note out yet. Like, I think you would still be excited to meet the person behind this. I love how every single character that we have met in Assassin's Blade has come through to help Aelin in this war. It's just everything being tied together from literally books and books and books ago is just so cool to all see coming together in both of these books. But I was right on Nesrin and Sartok. If they both make it through this war, they will be ruling the southern continent together, and I'm very happy for them. I think it's cool that Irene found a way to draw the Valg out of people, but I don't really know what that's going to mean for the tide of the war. I am just so excited for all of the battle scenes, and I don't, if there are any more plot twists, the plot twists in Kingdom of Ash, and I am going to try and speed through it really quickly because it honestly did take me a while to read these two books because of how packed my semester was this year, but I am really happy to have finished them. I'm really happy with their endings. I'm really happy with the epilogue of this one, and it makes me so scared for what Maeve is going to do to Aelin because I just don't want anything bad to happen to her. Obviously, I know that's not gonna be the case. Like something, like stuff is gonna happen to her. She's going to be tortured. But I am just so hopeful that Rowan is gonna find her and bring her back to her people, and they're all gonna end the war in one big final battle. And I'm hoping there's not too many casualties. If any, we will see. It is war. But I am just super excited for this series to be wrapped up. But at the same time, I am also sad because this is my first time reading the series, and everyone who like loves this series this much is always like, oh, I wish I could go back and read it for the first time. And I only get this experience once. But yes, this concludes my tandem read for Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn. So stay tuned for another reading vlog where I'll just be doing Kingdom of Ash. Maybe I'll try and do like I update the vlog every chapter or every like 50 pages or so, just so you guys are like actually engaged with it like the whole time like I am. Maybe it'll bring back that spark of reading it for the first time over again. But I am loving the series, and I cannot wait to get on to that last book. If you guys like this video, you can head over to my page. I have other book vlogs. None of them are really dedicated to series, but I want to try and change that in the future. I also post travel vlogs and then just like lifestyle weekly vlogs. So if that's any interest to you, go give it a look. And I will see you guys in the next video. And then if you did the tandem read or if you didn't do the tandem read, let me know your thoughts because I have friends who did not do the tandem read and they say it was better that way. But then I've heard so many people online say that the tandem read is the only way to do it. And I personally loved the tandem read. So I'd love to hear what you guys thought if you did either option. And then just your thoughts on the series in general or your favorite characters. I am so open to hear. Just don't spoil me, please. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.